moving on to University of Cincinnati head coach Tommy Tuberville. The Bearcats are 2-0 overall. We're in action this past Saturday against Miami of Ohio. Cincinnati won the game 31-24. Up next for Cincinnati will be this Saturday at Ohio State, a 6 p.m. Eastern Time start. The game will be on the Big Ten Network. Coach, thanks for joining us on the call today. If you would take a minute to tie up the game against Miami of Ohio and tell us what you expect to see as you make the somewhat short road trip to Ohio State to face the Buckeyes, please.
Thank you. We excited about being 2-0. Wish we'd have played better last week, but we didn't play with the intensity that we played with the week before. Hopefully we'll get some of the guys that missed the game last week. I think we had 5 guys that started the week before that missed the game this past week because of minor injuries. Hopefully get most of them back this week. Excited about playing our third Ohio team. We played Toledo, Miami, Ohio, now Ohio State, and they're obviously a very good football team, one that has great tradition, and our players will be excited about going to play.
Take questions for Coach Tuberville, please. *1 on your telephone to join the queue, and then the operator will introduce you. And again, *1 for questions, please.
And we'll take our first question from Dan Tortora with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media.
Hey, Coach, how you doing today?
Good morning.
Just going off of what you said, going against your third Ohio team, obviously this being Ohio State, ranked in the top 25. They've had their ups and downs this season. What are some of the biggest things you've seen on film with them that you're taking into this game?
Well, obviously we put together a game plan for what they do on offense and defense, but you have to recognize the talent level that they have, the depth, speed, athletic ability. You got to take that in mind as well as what they do scheme-wise. But they now in their 4th game after an open date. I'm sure they've had time to heal up and get their quarterback, who's played pretty good for a first-year quarterback. He's made some mistakes, but he is. You can tell he's gotten better and better each game. So what we want to do is make sure we get our guys ready to play in terms of what we want to do and how we can improve. We got to play a better game. If we don't play a better game, it won't be much of one. But we've got to improve on the things that we made mistakes in last week, which we made them both on offense and defense. And we'll keep working on fundamentals with all the young guys we've got to try to improve and get better.
As far as some of those mistakes that you're keying in on offense and defense, what were some of those big areas that you need to clean up going into this game?
Well, protections on offense. We've got to work on protections. We misaligned defensively. Mostly mental mistakes, a few technique mistakes. I think we're really working hard to be a better technique football team. Bottom line is that's pretty much how you got to get better as the year goes on. But we got to do the physical and mental things a lot better.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
We'll take our next question from Bill Bender with Sporting News.
Hello?
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Well, first off, just talk a little bit about playing a game against Ohio State, obviously a program that has a pretty large footprint in the city of Cincinnati, and how do you balance that? And is this a game you'd like to see more often with these guys?
Well, it's a nationally known team that's done well over the years. I grew up watching them play with Coach Hayes, being the coach there, and over the years became very good friends with Jim Trussell, traveled with him to the Middle East and see our troops and listen to him talk about Ohio State. Of course, Urban, I've known Urban since, I guess, 2003. Done a good job there. Hadn't lost many games. They're a traditional team. They're a powerhouse. They play for national championships. They top one of the top recruiting classes in the country every year. So it's one of those teams that every year, you're going to see a lot of athletic ability, and we're excited about playing them. I think we've got another game scheduled in the near future, so we'll just take it this year and see what happens.
And, talk a little bit about Gunnar Kiel and what he's done early. I mean, obviously the numbers are pretty gaudy, and that's catching people's attention, but what improvements have you seen from him?
Well, he didn't improve much from the first to the second game. and you can't do much better than what he did. He throws 6 touchdown passes for over 400 yards and made some very good throws. This past game, he forced some balls, made some mistakes, had some balls that were dropped. Didn't make quite as good decisions in some of the checkoffs that he had done the week before. We allow him to change the play at the line of scrimmage quite often. So anxious to see what he'll continue to do the rest of the year. This is going to be a work in progress with him. First-year starting quarterback, hadn't played in 3 years. Got 2 years remaining after this one. So we just want to keep him on track of understanding the game, trying to run the team, run the football, with his running back, throw the ball down the field, be a field general. And, he's a gym rat. He's a guy that loves to play and loves to look at film. And so he'll be much better 5 weeks from now, but, we're not at 5 weeks from now. We got to continue to improve, and we don't have much time with this defense that we're getting ready to face because it obviously be one, if not the best defense we'll play all year.
Yep. Sounds great, Coach. Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Bob Baptist with the Columbus Dispatch.
Tommy, I wondered if you could just talk a little bit about how Max Morrison has developed for you as a receiver in your 2 years there.
Max hadn't been a surprise. He just, he's one of those guys that you never look at as a flashy type player, but he's always makes key catches. Got great hands. Played in a high school football team that was that threw the ball every down, and he understands the passing game. He hadn't played much until we got here, but he's got deceptional speed. He really opens up well. He's not the quickest receiver on the team, but he might be one of the fastest. So I've been proud of Max. He's worked very hard at becoming a better receiver ever since we've gotten here. We've played him an inside receiver, some outside receiver, been on special teams. Great team player, and works very good with the quarterbacks, stays out late every day in practice. So, he'll catch a lot of footballs in the next couple of years. He has 1 more year remaining after this.
Also wanted to get your thoughts on your long snapper who's from up here around Columbus, Kirk Willis. What kind of a luxury is it to have a guy in a program that just comes in from a high school program and that's what he does?
Yeah, he walked on here the year before I got here and was a starting snapper, and I put him on scholarship once we arrived. I believe in that. I believe if somebody's starting on your team as a punter, kicker, or snapper, he needs to be on scholarship as soon as you can get him on. And he's been a guy that has really worked well with our punters. We've struggled in the punting game in the last 2 years. We've gotten better, but he's been one facet of our kicking game that's been solid. Works hard. He's gotten much stronger and much bigger. He was a little bit underweight when we first got here, undersized, but I'm proud of what he's done. He snaps for both the punts and the extra-point field goal team.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Tim Grosjean with the Cincinnati Enquirer.
Hey, Coach. Most of your guys have played before 40, 50,000 people, but what's the difference between that and playing in front of 100,000? You've obviously been in stadiums of that size. But
the players get into it, significance of the team and the tradition's always there. And of course, they've got a great band. This is the only big-time stadium I've not been in my coaching career. And it's fun to go to them. It's fun to see the atmosphere and the pageantry and all that. That's what separates college football from a lot of other things that go on this time of year. But, once the ball's kicked off, we go on solid count most of the time. Movement for the home.
Have any other questions for Coach? We thank you for your time today. Look forward to talking to you again next Monday. And that is Coach Tommy Tuberville from Cincinnati, the Bearcats at Ohio State, this Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the Big Ten Network.